Hi Aquarius, here's a general look at your solar chart for October 2010. Now you're into a more expansive time, a very different kettle of fish to just a little while ago, and that'll increase from the 4th, because then you're going to be turning your thoughts outwards, thinking outside of the box, not being so preoccupied with something. Could have been around finances or property, or maybe a resource that you've got a contract with somebody else, you see, so it kind of relies on somebody else. So that's been kind of maybe whirling around in your mind, but from the 4th that energy does actually shift out of there, and you may be realizing that there's a big world out there filled with possibilities, so that you may as well jump right in. You could be discovering a new body of knowledge, a new area of interest, a new enterprise of some kind. Also, it could be something to do with spirituality as well. Anyway, you're likely to feel more enthusiastic now, and you may be feeling clearer and more decisive in your communications with others, more sort of frank, really, and easier about it, because you don't have to hold something in or back from them. This is a period when you can get things into perspective and see the bigger picture, get things more in proportion. It's also a good time for going off and signing up for a course and learning something, studying something, training in something. Some of you may have more of an interest in communications with those at a distance at the moment, or be traveling yourself. More exchange with them. Overall, it's likely that you'll be dealing with an unfamiliar culture or take on things, or mental or physical territory. So maybe you could be having dealings with somebody who is at odds with your sort of take on things and belief system. It could be like that, although I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. The first 2 or 3 days, though, you may feel a little pressured, or energy levels are a bit low, and between the 7th and the 9th there may be more mental pressure on you to communicate. These like long distance connections, maybe there is like crossed wires there with somebody's ethos, somebody else's beliefs, or their knowledge. Crossed wires, there could be delays, so, and that could relate to traveling situations as well. So just keep things on an even keel, and try to leave major moves till later if possible. Mars is revving up your ambition to reach for the highest, to work hard to achieve any project or plan, to initiate there, to be decisive, proactive in obtaining what you are aiming for, even when certain others are at odds with the direction you wish to go. And these might be bosses, or other people in authority, other sort of so-called important people. So try to avoid conflict with them. You may have to tone down your responses there. Also kind of tailor your efforts to push forwards to meet maybe their requirements a bit, because if you don't, you could just lose precious ground that you've already worked hard for. Overall, others could be favorably impressed, however, by the energy you put into creating or maintaining your reputation, your position in the eyes of the world, or your standing in a society, in a group. So you want to be projecting that integrity, that competency, and also showing consistency as you push forwards. Venus is going to really be helping you out here. Venus is in this very public area of your chart, helping you climb the ladder of success for several months, up until January actually. And so she there is going to be very supportive to your aims, enabling you to be more diplomatic, sort of sprinkling a little bit of charm about the place so that you can get what you want. And also there could be some real good relationship, you know, this bond that you strike up with somebody in this area. So if it's to do with professional things, if you're looking for work, then again, people, bosses, potential bosses could be looking upon you very favorably, as a matter of fact. Or if it's others in positions of so-called power, then they could be supportive to your aims, whether that's to do with business or profession. There could even be a strong female figure around for you at the moment who is you know, in some way enabling you or supporting you. But also social gatherings, you know, could center around a business type scenario or a professional scenario, and likely to be warm and friendly, and you could, you know, in that sort of social circle, maximize your chances of later success with a business project or a professional sort of project. It will definitely help with negotiations or coming to a mutual agreement with somebody over something and shaking hands on it. So for 2+ years now, Saturn is going to be rolling through this area to do with your stance related to your ideals, your philosophies of life, your spiritual path, also academically, a body of knowledge as well. That's going to be you developing things there, inclining you to take all of those sorts of things more seriously, having to take them more seriously, and being able to communicate where you're coming from, whether it's about beliefs or whether it's about an area of knowledge, you know, getting really very informed on that, and then being able to transmit that as well. So because during this transit of Saturn, some of you will be looked upon as the teacher, as the one who's got something to say. And also another way this can translate is that Saturn is, you know, those rose-tinted spectacles that you've had on about, you know, your ideals, you know, what you'd like to aspire to, and you've dreamt about doing that. Well, now Saturn is going to say, okay, it's arrived, you know, this is reality. Let's see how you do with this. And actually, I think you're going to be finding during this very long transit, you know, it's not going to be an everyday thing, but during this transit, in some cases, cutting things down to size so they're more doable, in line with those kind of past sort of rather maybe unrealistic ideals that you've had and ideologies that you've had, because you're going to be brought down to earth with a bump every now and again. At this point in the cycle, which is at the very, very beginning, you may be already questioning the relevance of these past expectations of how it would be if this or that or the other came true, and also maybe the relevance of past interests, your belief system, your spiritual path, and taking a closer look, just beginning to reevaluate and review where you stand now, as opposed to where you thought you would be when you got here, or actually you know, where you stand now and where you'd like to be. So here you can use visualization, you can use the intention project it out through this visualization of how you'd like it to be, to begin to pull that towards you. And also to do with an academic path as well. This is for many of you going to mean that you will be working consistently and patiently at a particular intellectual through intellectual challenge, learning, gathering information and making it your own, and then understanding how you can express that in your own very individual sort of unique kind of a way, Aquarius. So maybe it's something academic, or maybe it's something more on the artistic side of things. It could be scientific, it could be artistic as well. It could also be a geographical location, and you're asking yourself, where do I want to be? Which culture do I want to be in? Jupiter is inviting you during this next few months, that's up until spring, for you to capitalize on your assets, be they material or in the form of your inborn talents or your skills. Maybe you should be blowing the dust off some of those talents and skills now and developing them, because that's going to enable you to reach for improvements financially. Excuse me. So call this investing in yourself, in your material physical setup, as the energy of Jupiter is there to help you land up in a better situation by next spring. So this can be productive and profitable few months if you follow the call to, put your money or get that little piece of kit or equipment that is just like the nail in the horseshoe that you need to be able to expand more upon what you have already, from your own deeper interests, from your own talents, from your own skills. Jupiter is going to boost your earning potential if you feel worthy enough to do that, and determined enough to attract abundance into your life, because it'll be there for you to tap into. But remember, Jupiter is a teacher planet, and it's about your spiritual purpose more. So if there is something that that you like to do, but you don't see how you can make money out of it, as a matter of fact, if you invest in that, then somehow or another things are likely to fall into place, because that will be meeting the criteria of Jupiter in a money area for you. And also you're likely to be able to bring things in which are going to ease things in your space, in your comfort zone physically, and also with matters of health, I have to say as well. And from the 24th you'll be taking your professional and personal responsibilities more seriously. So that's it for October. If you know your rising sign, listen to that too. It'll throw another light on what I've said here, and I'll see you the next time.